Hi everyone, welcome to World of Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is the T62A, the Tier 10 Russian medium tank, which is so popular in World of Tanks. And this replay, as well as the next one or two, has been brought to you by MatchyHK from DPX Clan. Don't forget to check out Matchy's YouTube channel, which will be in the video description. And all three of these battles have been sent to me by my old mate MatchyHK, who's an absolutely awesome player, and he seems like a really nice bloke. I can communicate with Matchy via Skype every now and then when he sends me these replays, and he seems like a really nice guy. But anyway, in this matchup, we are on Highway, and obviously Matchy's been playing the T62A for a little while, and it looks like he's had a few games in it because he sent me a few replays, and every single one of them is an absolute ripper. This is a bit of a nail-biter, this game, without giving too much away. Matchy's going up the 1-2 line, which is the traditional place for medium tanks to go on Highway, and he's going to try and find some enemy tanks to light for his team, shoot, kill, damage, all that kind of stuff, which is what he does best. Getting up to the corner now. This is a place I love to go, but you need to be wary of artillery, because artillery often aim at the A1 square, but Matchy's lucky enough not to have any artillery on the enemy side in this matchup. Doesn't manage to penetrate the E50. Very heavily armoured medium tank, even at Tier 9. The German medium tank. It's a tank which I absolutely loved. That grind, it was a very easy grind indeed, and a very handy tank at Tier 9. I'm really looking forward to getting that E50M, which Matchy's also sent me some replays from. Now, the two Bulldogs in the platoon on Matchy's side haven't managed to last too long. They did a good job lining up that E50 and the Scorpion G, and maybe even the Spick in the middle of the map, but have been sent back to the garage pretty quickly in this game. So Matchy, along with the 1390 and the T44, are going up to under that ridge line, just which you can see just now. If you get under that ridge line, you can often light up enemy tanks that might be camping the base, and also put some damage into them. The auto aims at the T44, but T44 gets unlit, so he puts a shot into the LTTB, the awesome little Tier 7 Russian medium tank. And of course, with the new direction indicators in World of Tanks, you can see where the shots are coming from, and also who fires them. So Matchy puts a blind shot towards that shot that he bounced. Unlucky not to land that shot on the Scorpion G. You can see Matchy's already picked up 986 hit points of damage. He's only lost a little bit under 200 of his own hit points, so he's in a pretty good position, and he's getting up near the enemy base just to try and light those enemy tanks up and get some cheeky shots into them, which is what he loves to do. You can see the enemy tanks do have a lot of heavy tanks, or more heavy tanks than Matchy's side, and that's probably why, if you look at the mini-map, that's probably why these two Tier 8 heavies haven't left the base. And this IS-7's on his own, so he might find himself in a little bit of trouble if he runs into those, the 113, the AMX-50B and the E100, which might be in the city. Only the 113's been lit up of the enemy Tier 10 heavy tanks. Looks like the enemy side are sort of hugging onto this ridgeline. A lot of presence up here by Matchy's teammates, which is good. It means they can probably take out this T44, which is last spotted at A8, and maybe cap the game out. There's plenty of buildings on the cap on Highway to hide behind if you're trying to cap the game out. There has been some talk in the team chat, of capping this game out, and looking at where all the tanks are, that's probably a viable option, but these tanks on the northern side seem to have stagnated a little bit. And as Matchy gets a shot into the Tier 10 French heavy tank, the autoloader. It's another tank that I'm looking forward to getting. Doesn't manage to land the shot on the LTTB, but he's looking at that Skoda now. Auto aims on him, and you can see Matchy. This is how much he loves the T62A. He's got 2 marks of excellence on his barrel, which is a pretty good achievement. And I'm tipping maybe he's working on the 3rd one. I'm not sure. Now it looks like the heavy tanks on Matchy's side. It looks like they're engaging that Tiger 2 now, and they're really going to take over that city. Looking at the numbers, but Matchy needs to be careful here. All the enemy tanks, apart from that Tiger 2, looks like all the enemy tanks are coming back to the base. He's putting some really good damage into that Tier 9 heavy German tank, which is often so hard to penetrate, but when you're a Tier 10 with premium ammunition loaded, the heat loads 330 mil of penetration is enough to penetrate frontally the Tier 9 German heavy tank. Now the cap is definitely looking like it might happen, but looking at all those enemy tanks that are going back for the reset, you can see, there you go, the cap's been reset now. As Matchy just keeps chipping away and just putting more and more shots into the enemy side. Unlucky not to kill the Skoda T50 with that shot, but he's tracked him, which means the next shot should do the job. And he's winning 6-4. That's Matchy's first kill, but he's picked up nearly 4,000 hit points of damage, and he's really using the strong turret armour of this Russian medium tank to its advantage. He's bouncing plenty of shots, and you'll see in the post-game battle results how many shots he does bounce. He has a really good game. Trying to get some shots into that Tier 10 French autoloader, which looks like he might be reloading. That might be why he's not pushing on these tanks, or maybe he's just trying to do a little bit of a snipe. Still winning by a tank, 6-5, but all those tanks that were pushing the enemy base, they've either been killed or they've pulled right out. I think most of them have actually been killed, with a score at 6-all. 4,141 hit points of damage that we've seen from Matchy, and that one puts it up to nearly 4,500. And he's just going to continue to do exactly what medium tanks should do. Just keep chipping away at these enemy tanks. He's only lost 600 hit points of damage, or 647 hit points of damage. He's on 1303, which is very, very handy at the later stages of the game to have the majority of your hit points, especially in a medium tank. Reloads premium ammunition to try and finish off the VK4502B, but now the E100 presents the side of his turret, which Matchy will gladly put some damage in. He picks up his 2nd kill, taking out the Tier 9 German tank, but his team looks like he's starting to fall apart. He knows he needs to get rid of the E100, so he's just going to start chipping away. I know I say chipping away a lot, just to try and whittle down his health, but the E100 still on 1,400 hit points. It's gonna take a little while to get rid of him. And of course the LTTB, which was last spotted over here, he's obviously gone over there to keep sniping at, even though he's only a Tier 7, he's going to put a little bit of damage into Matchy and his teammates as they're fighting the fight on the eastern side of this map. So Matchy's decided to relocate, take that Tier 7 Russian's gun out of the game by not getting shot at it. But it might be in a bit of trouble here. He's given his back to that E100, but looks like the E100 might have just fired, so that's why he wasn't aiming his gun at Matchy. Gets the E100 down to 1,070 hit points, it looks like, but the score at 9-11 is... I don't know if it's time to worry just yet, but they're only down by 2 tanks. 5,720 hit points of damage from our mate MatchyHK, his T62A, one of the popular Tier 10 medium tanks at clan wars, platooning, and of course stronghold battles. He's just reassessing the situation here. That AMX 50B, unlucky not to penetrate that shot. Looks like the 50B is unloading on the AMX 1390, and he takes him out of the game. I think Matchy's quite confident that he hasn't been spotted, and it looks like, just by the body language on the Tier 10 French tank, it looks like he might be reloading, so he's running away. Another unlucky shot. Had he landed that, he would have taken him out of the game, but he makes up for it in the next one. And now all of a sudden, Matchy's left on his own after he kills that Tier 10 French autoloader. It looks like it's Matchy versus the E100 and the 113 on this flank. No idea where that LTTB's gone. But there's the E100 match. He wants to make sure that he doesn't let the E100 put a shot into him. The E100 has got a massive gun, and if it penetrates him, he's going to be in a world of pain and probably sent back to the garage. But luckily, he's in a tank which is, it might not be the most manoeuvrable medium tank in the game, but it makes up for it with its strong, well-angled turret armour. Now he's been lit, which is it has to have been lit from that LTTB. And here come those heavies. Fires clutch into the 113. And it looks like that 113 was just fired high explosives then, because he only did 100 hit points of damage. I'm sure that's not what the normal rounds do. And Matchy takes the opportunity to put another shot into him. T71 decides to come to the party. Starts chipping away with its auto loader, and it's looking like Matchy's in a lot of trouble here. He's only got 2 shells left. Have a look at his ammunition count. 7,890 hit points of damage, and unlucky on that occasion not to pick up the win. As you look at the post-game battle results, it's an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge. Wrong one. It's a defeat. It's not an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge at all. It's only a first class, but only a first class. Have a look at the second page of the post-game battle results. 7,890 hit points of damage, 3 kills, basic experience of only 674. Only 674. How could that get any higher? A massive game and a really good attempt by MatchyHK to claw back the win. He more than did his job in that battle on highway. 7,890 hit points of damage, 3 kills. He fired 49 shots, so he only had 1 shot left, and it carries 50 shells. The T62A, the Russian T10 medium tank, but just too many passengers in that game, losing these tanks while doing 0 damage. And plenty of tanks did over 1,000 hit points of damage, but not quite enough for the win on that occasion. As we move on to before we go to the second game, you can see he lost a bit of credits, but that's to be expected in a loss when he fired all of his ammunition and still wasn't lucky enough to pick up the win. As we move on to the second game of this double, or is it a triple? Or is double or triple? I don't know if I'm going to do 2 or 3 battles in this video, but this one is Serene Coast, and it's MatchyHK again. And let's hope he can get a similar result, but with a similar effort with a different result of the last game. He's on Serene Coast, and he's going. Looks like what's he doing there? It looks like he's just rocking backwards and forwards there. But he's going up to the 1-2 line, which is where medium tanks generally go on Serene Coast, and it's a very important part of the map. If you can control the D1, C1 area, you can really make progress into the enemy flag and carry the game. You can see he's put into the. You can see he's put in the chat. Love how I did 8,000 damage last game and lost, and that was these 2 games were pretty much played one after each other. And Matchy sent me a message telling me as such when he sent me the replays, which was a bit of a heartbreaker, 8,000 damage and not winning. But there was only 1 round left. Couldn't kill all those 3 tanks with 1 round. Anyway, MatchyHK, he's copped 1 shot, but is moving quite aggressively with his team onto the eastern side, western side I should say, of the map on Serene Coast. He's got his eyes set on the baby Batchat 25T AP. They're all shooting him. Gets a bit of a ram in. We love a ram. And can he pick up the kill? Yes, he can. He's picked up his first kill. They're winning 4-3 as MatchyHK and his team really aggressively pushing that western and northern flank. Eastern flank looking maybe some cause for concern on the eastern flank. The enemies pushing their lights and their heavies down that way by the looks of it. And he's having to think about what he's going to do with that T95, the big American T9 tank destroyer, which is known for its armour and also known for its lack of speed. It's probably one of the slowest tanks in the game, maybe apart from the TOG. I still don't have a T95. I do have it unlocked, but I don't know, the thought of playing that thing doesn't really appeal to me. But anyway, Matchy's picked up 1665 hit points of damage. His team's winning 5-3, and he's looking for the flank of this American tank destroyer. His guns, tank destroyer's aiming at Matchy, and he's looking at the commander's hatch, or the cupola, just looking for that kill shot. Misses that one, goes a little bit high, and his teammates do the job for him as he starts moving towards the enemy flag. They're winning 7-4, so there's no real cause for concern at this stage. But looking at the minimap, the T57 Heavy and the T10 on the southern side, looks like they're aggressively pushing Matchy's cap. So Matchy needs to make a decision either to continue with this push and comprehensively win the northern half of the map, or start heading back and making sure the enemy don't cap him out. There's nothing worse than getting capped out when you are winning the game. But he can assist from here, from the centre of the map. He can get shots on that T57 Heavy, and very handy tank to get rid of. Doesn't have the chance to fully aim that last shot on the T57A, but that one does. Claws it back to 8-7. It was even there for a minute. Looks like the enemy side have won the southern half, and Matchy's side are looking at the map, really winning the northern half, and if they can get rid of the last tanks that are camping, then they'll win this game. But it looks like a lot of, looking at where the last known positions of the enemy tanks are, it's only the T10 that's been spotted near Matchy's base. The VK, the TVP's come back, the Death Star, obviously artillery, and the Type 61 are all back here. It looks like they're all in this area. This land here is a little bit lower than the land up here, so they can stay hull down and preserve their health. And so Matchy's thinking, what can I do here? He's looking around, and he's found the T10. The T10's on full health. How the T10 got all the way down there on full health, I'll never know, but fires a shot, doesn't quite land it, and he takes a shot from the T10. Only 270 hit points of damage. Can he get him before he goes around the corner? He can't. And the baby bat chat looks like he's helping MatchyHK, but that massive push right up the top of the map looks like it's not going as well as everyone expected. They get rid of the TVP, the Tier 10 Czech autoloader, but they're also losing a few tanks up the top. It looks like there's only 2 tanks left up the top. He puts a shot into that T10. He needs to get rid of this T10 and then go and help his mates up the top. This T10, if he doesn't get rid of this T10, the T10 could easily cap them out if he concentrates up the north. But T57 Heavy gets killed as Matchy picks up his 3rd kill, taking out the Tier 9 Russian heavy tank, and now he's going to go back up to the top to try and get rid of those artilleries and help that IS-7 get rid of the Death Star as well. Looking for a couple of cheeky shots. Lucky enough for Matchy, he's still got 1169 health, but the IS-7 is in a lot of trouble there. He's a one-shot for any tank that's left. And so Matchy's going to get up this eastern flank and try and help. I don't know if Matchy's already written off the IS-7, but he's been killed anyway. So Matchy now, it's 1 versus 3 here. Matchy doesn't want to lose 2 games in a row in the T62A, so he wants to get rid of these 2 artillery pieces and almost the 3rd artillery with the Death Star, the FB215B 183. Now they're expecting him to go up the eastern flank, and so he's going to do the unexpected, which is what Matchy does. He's going to see if he can outvision anything from here. Even though he's got 1,000 hit points of health left, any one of those tanks can take him down to a one-shot or even kill him with a lucky shot. If that FB215B fires its premium ammunition, it will definitely kill him in one shot. And his standard ammunition could easily set him on fire. Gets a shot into one of the artilleries. Can he get another one? He can't. He goes behind the rock. And now he's looking for some cheeky shots. It would be the reason he didn't go up this eastern side. Now this is, I thought to myself when I first saw this replay, why doesn't he just go up this eastern side, stay hull down and kill these artilleries and or the 215B183? But that would have been exactly what they expected him to do. Had he have gone up there, he might have got one or even two of them out, but the third one, whether it was an arty or the Death Star, could have just gone straight for him and one-shot him. So he's going to do something that's a little bit unexpected. They're probably, you'd imagine, the enemy tanks might be thinking that he's down here and aiming this way, even though he was spotted when he was sniping from the rock back here. Now he's going straight up this railway line and hopefully catch at least one of them unawares. And remember, he has shot one of those artillery pieces once, so he'll just be a one-shot. Bit of activity going on in the team chat, but by going straight up the 5 line on the railway line, he's also protecting his artillery in case one of them pushes down the 2-3 line. Can't see anything, so he's just repositioning and trying to work out how to confirm this win. They are down a tank. Two arties are definitely already loaded by now. He needs to find them for his artillery. Remember, the artillery on Matchy's side is an autoloader. I think it's got 4 shells. The French artillery autoloader with 4 seconds between each shell when they fire. Coming back down again. I'm just going to fast forward by 20 seconds. And again. Because all you missed out on there was Matchy just moving around and trying to outvision these tanks. The T62A, even though Russian tanks aren't known for their vision, the T62A would have a better view range than the artillery and probably the Death Star as well. Just seeing if you can see any of them. There he is. There's the Death Star. Death Star's a one-shot for Matchy, so if he can land one shot into that FV215B183, it'll take him out of the game. Decides not to push on that line. Maybe he does. Maybe he's just trying to trick the Tier 10 British tank destroyer into thinking that he's going back around again. Patience is a virtue in World of Tanks, and this is something I often don't display much patience when I'm playing. In situations like this, you really need to take your time and make sure you win the game rather than YOLOing, which is what I often do. Probably why I'm such a noob and Matchy's such an ace tanker. Now he's going for it now. He's going to... Matchy's decided. 4 minutes left in the game. He can hug the rock and proxy spot whatever might be hiding behind the rock. Fires one shot and misses. Didn't have much to aim at on the British Death Star. And artillery does the job for him, which is probably exactly what he was hoping for. Now he needs to make sure that the enemy arties don't shoot him. It's been evened up again. 2 versus 2. And Matchy's looking for these 2 French artillery tanks. If they've been paying attention on the map, they're going to know where he's come from. There's one of him. It's the one that he damaged earlier, which is lucky. It looks like he... I don't know if he did fire then or if he was trying to aim at MatchyHK. Just running around the cap circle, and this is... He's probably thinking I can confirm the win here by capping out, or is he going to go for it? Wait and see. Maybe he's trying to draw out that artillery. Keeps doing the right thing by keeping on the move, so make himself a harder target if he does get spotted. Just doing a bit of circle work, hoping that French artillery comes back for the reset. And he does. He comes from the other side. Very unusual bit of a surprise there. I'm tipping that the Yardie probably did a full loop, and that's probably why it took a while to get back into the game. But imagine the French Tier 9 artillery. The relay's probably around about 40 seconds, or at least 30. The auto aims, shoots and misses. The Yardie shoots at him, but Matchy picks up his 5th kill. Unlucky not to get a top gun in that game, but had an absolute ripper. Only a first class mastery badge, as you can see on the post-game battle results. However, he did manage to pick up a high caliber and all the minor medals. Hand of God, survive and win, having received damage from at least 4 different enemy vehicles. Bruiser, duelist, fighter and fire for effect. As we look at the second page of the post-game battle results, 4,484 hit points of damage for his 5 kills. And you can see he fired 27 shots, only 23 hits. There were some blind shots, or shots that weren't fully aimed. But he gave himself plenty of damage. 4,484 hit points of damage. And not a bad little profit, considering that he did fire some premium ammunition at some stage. But a good carry anyway, even though it wasn't an ace tanker. He comprehensively carried that game. The baby Batchat wasn't too lucky there, only did 900 damage. The T10, and it looked like they were going to just ruffle stomp that western side. But in the end, the team sort of fell apart when they were pushing onto the enemy cap. And that's because the enemy had so many big, heavy tank destroyers and big guns back at the base to defend their base. But anyway, promised you 3. It looked like the title might have said a double shot, but this is turning into a triple shot of MatchyHK action, again with his T62A. I'm flying through replays today because I'm expecting an update in the next day or two on Border Tanks. I want to make sure I get as many replays out for everyone as I can. Now, in this matchup, this is going to be an absolute ripper. This is MatchyHK again on Lakeville, and he's platooned up with his old mate PK 232. Just going to call him PK. And MatchyHK doing absolutely the right thing to do. This is awesome when it works. Going the road on Lakeville, where you can spot when you're a top tier medium tank or even a light tank. When you go the road, you can spot the enemy tanks that are advancing along the northeastern side, and you can also put in plenty of cheeky shots from the centre of the map. You get shots to the north and also to the town. You can see PK put a beautiful shell of damage into the side of the E100, and we know the enemy tanks have quite a big presence around the A7 line because they've all been spotted there, and that's the direction where they're shooting at Matchy from. Nearly kills the T34, but the old the T30 just beats him to it. Puts a shot into the turret of the Indian Panzer, the Tier 8 German medium tank. Gets tracked for his efforts, but tracked in a pretty convenient place. Behind the rock where no one can shoot at him. Shoots and tracks the T57 Heavy. And he's using this rock here just to keep himself hull down, if you like. That rock that's just there, the rock that's just next to MatchyHK's tank, is protecting his hull from any tanks that are shooting from where that T57 Heavy is. But also the rock's low enough to allow him to put some shots into it. And no artillery in this game, which is very handy. If the Artie gets up, if there was an Artie and the Artie got up to A7 where the other tanks were last spotted, then they could probably put some shots into Matchy there. But he doesn't need to worry about artillery in this match. All he probably needs to worry about is this M41 Bulldog, that's who is lighting him up. But he knows if he lights these tanks up, or if these tanks light these tanks up, then the tanks that are back with PK, which is T44-100, obviously PK in the grill, and also the T30, they'll give him lots of fire support and a lot of spotting damage as well. Matchy just looking for some opportunistic shots here. He's still full health, which is awesome. They're winning 2-1, so he doesn't really need to YOLO or do anything too silly right now. And he's just searching for another shot into the Tiger 2, which sets him on fire. And as the fire gets put out, Matchy's gun's reloaded, and he puts another shot into him. He's taken the Tiger 2 down by almost 1,000 hit points of damage, and he also gets another shot into that pesky T57 heavy, which gets killed by the other grill on Matchy's side. Sees some trees fall over, so he just takes a blind shot. Could be the Spic, could be the Tiger 2, and it's a pretty good position here. He keeps getting lit, so he thinks that this bush here might be where the light tank's hiding. So he puts a blind shot into that bush, which is a very good tactic to do. If you're getting lit and you can't see who's lighting you, then putting a blind shot into a bush where light tanks generally go is not a bad tactic at all. Looking for some more side shots into those tanks that are in the town. They don't present their side, but T10 takes a bit of damage for his trouble. Again, he's looking into the town. He can't really see much there. Puts a shot into a house, and the Super Pershing is chipping away at him. So he's trying to light that Super Pershing. Doesn't manage to, but he puts another shot into the T10, and Matchy's team are winning 3-1. So again, Matchy doesn't really need to push too aggressively because his team are winning. And finally, that T26E3, the Super Pershing, gets lit. So Matchy puts one damaging shot, and the second shot into him doesn't really do much at all. But he's still giving him his side, so he puts another 324 hit points of damage into the side of the Super Pershing, and now they're winning 7-1. Look at the mini-map. The town has been comprehensively won, and now it's just a case of farming damage for MatchyHK. He's looking at the grill. You want to get rid of that big tier 10 German gun when you're looking at those grills. He also spots the AMX CDC, the premium French tank, which isn't a bad tank at all, but it's not that overpowered in a tier 10 battle. That's why it doesn't get preferential matchmaking. Kills the Ferdinand. He takes the grill down to almost a one shot, and then he takes him out of the game. And now he's looking at the Spic. The Spic gets taken out by the IS-5. PK takes out the T10, and that only leaves the E75, the AMX CDC, who he knows a one shot, the Indian Panzer, who Matchy was shooting earlier in the game, and of course the Bulldog. There's the Indian Panzer. It takes him down to 695 hit points. PK takes him down to a one shot, and Matchy bounces. Nothing worse than bouncing when someone's on 4 hit points of health. Auto aims and kills him, and now he's looking for that Bulldog. He can afford to be aggressive here. The Bulldog's only a tier 7, and Matchy's got plenty of health, so he's going to risk some health to make sure he gets some damage, which is exactly the right thing to do. Gets another shot into the Bulldog, takes him down to 58 hit points. The Russian premium tank takes him out of the game, the T44-100, and now it's some more handy damage onto the E75. 14-1's the score, and look at the amount of damage that Matchy's done. 7,000 damage, and in that case, it was a win, a comprehensive win. 15-1. As we have a look at the post-game battle results, it's an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge on Lakeville for our mate MatchyHK, Bruiser and Fire for Effect, of course the Confederate Medal for shooting more enemy tanks than anybody else on his team, High Caliber for doing a massive amount of damage, and of course a Scout Medal. When you go in a medium tank down that road, you're gonna get plenty of spots. Look at those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tanks. 9 out of the 15 tanks on the enemy side, MatchyHK spotted. And they're all, that's every tank that went east. I'd say the only tanks that he didn't spot are the ones that went the valley. Second page of the post-game battle results, 7,137 hit points of damage, 1295 base experience. That's an awesome game from MatchyHK. He fired 35 shots, 29 hit, and 23 did damage, giving him 7,137 damage, 5,000 damage from more than 300 metres, but that's all right. There was no need to push that road because his team was winning all the way. Picked up some spotting damage, 2,751 hit points, and that combined with the damage that he did himself was enough for the Ace Tanker Mastery Badge. PK had a pretty good game in his grill too, with nearly 4,000 hit points of damage. 6 shells hit, they all went through. Not a bad platoon at all. Profitable game too for Matchy, because I don't remember him firing too much premium ammunition. In fact, I don't think he fired any at all. 63,500 credits as a bottom line profit. Not a bad result at all for the T62A. I hope you've enjoyed these 3 replays. A loss, a close win, and an absolute ruffle stomp in the last game by MatchyHK, one of my favourite players in the world. He's T62A T10 Russian medium tank. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks very much, Matchy. Don't forget to check out Matchy's YouTube channel as well. Take care and see you all next time.